Hello, Tungsten Miner here. I've taken a little break from working on the house because one of the other players on the server noticed that this bay comes all the way in, but it doesn't quite go through. Instead, this whole area back there is a giant big peninsula. It's where my house is located, in fact. But that makes it very difficult if you're trying to get around, because you have to stop and go all the way around that giant peninsula. So he asked for me to make a canal. So I have made a canal. That's a little narrow, of course, as most canals are, and you go buzzing through, and you arrive in this other bay over here. And just ahead of us, you can see the little area that he's prepared to be something of a little wharf, where his boats are. At one point he had a dock over here. I'm not sure where he put the dock. It's gone now, apparently. So in any case, I figured I'd talk about how this canal came together. I mean, obviously, a canal is really just a big cut through and then some water that goes along. So I jump out on the jetty here. The way that I made this thing was I first took a look at the overview on the map. And I tried to figure out where should this thing go. And looking at the terrain, it's all pretty rough over here. There's this big hill right here. There's another kind of biggish hill over here, which would make a very long and kind of funny diagonal sort of cut that way. But if you look right here, there was a very gradual and very small slope coming up to here, and then pretty much a straight shot to go across, and it's the narrowest place to go. So having figured that out, I started by leaving just a little border of sand over here, and then getting my excavator from Tinker's Construct and cutting a 3-meter wide path all the way through to the other side. And as I was doing that, I was remembering that I want to have a sandy bottom and that I want to have these walls on either side, and that I want to have the passageway itself be 5 meters across, which is what we've got right here. So as I cut that 3-meter wide path, really that just formed the beginning, the center portion of the canal here. And I knew that I'd have to come back and do either side again. So I did the 3 meters along, and then I did an extra 2 meters along the side, an extra 2 meters along the side. But I did this without letting the water flow in. I left some of the sand on this side so that I could get the entire tunnel cut through in the right proportions. And then all of this dacite cobblestone I had from when I was digging the basement out of my house. And I've almost used it up. I have a little bit left. This bridge here, of course, is now that I've done this, this whole area is now an island. It's my huge island. And I'm cut off from the rest of the continent on which we all live. So I wanted to be able to get back over onto the rest of the continent, so I knew I needed a bridge. And here I just took some plain cobblestone, put it through the chisel mod, not chisels and bits, mind you, just chisel, and made a simple slab bridge. I'll probably decorate this more as time goes on, but for now this allows me to get back and forth without too much trouble. And then having put in the bottom and dug things down to the right depth and dug the sides out, I came back and filled it all with dacite. And on the opposite side, I had done the same thing as on the initial side, which is I left the sand just at the edge here alone. And that way I was able to work on this side in dry conditions as well. Looks like it's getting dark, so hang on. Okay, so once I had everything set up the way I wanted, I just went and grabbed a bucket, and leaving this wall intact and the other on the other side, I put down one layer of water on the bottom 1 meter. And using the normal rules of Minecraft water propagation, just putting down plenty of buckets of water all along this bottom meter until I had the whole canal filled 1 meter high with water. Of course, I knew I wanted 2 meters high, so then I came back to the beginning and I started the whole process again 1 meter higher. And that way I wound up with an entire contiguous section of normal water blocks, still water blocks. Because I don't want any running water blocks. One, that's hard on my server. And two, it's not going to be as easy for the boats to go through. So that gave me 2 meters tall of water as I just filled in bucket by bucket to get all the way through to the other side. And it did take a little while. Along the way, I found a nice copper deposit and a nice tin deposit. So that gave me some compensation for having put all this work in. And of course, I wound up with a nice. Actually, I think I left my horse on the other side. Let me go back over there. Yeah, so wound up with a bunch of raw materials that I can use for other projects. And I found some copper and some tin. And the way that I've got the ore generation set up, redstone actually spawns as a little trace amounts scattered in with copper. So I actually found quite a lot of redstone too. There's my horse. Okay, having made the canal, I also wanted to have a bridge, which I showed you. So let's go take a look at that from the other side here. It's a very simple bridge, just cobblestone in a chisel pattern. And that goes to the other side. And then this roadway here is dirt, likewise put through a chisel pattern. So I think this is a reinforced dirt pattern, which gives you that nice defined edge on the sides there. And then I decided, well, okay, since I've gotten this far, let me go ahead and bring this bridge, or the road rather, all the way back up to my house. Now, if you've watched my other videos before, you know there's a pretty standard way that I make these roads, but I'll talk about that again briefly here. Generally, I make them 3 wide, and this case is a little bit different because I'm going up to my house here, which has got symmetry on 2 sides. It has a 2 meter wide center block that I want to be symmetrical around, and eventually this whole area here will get redone with stone or tile or something. It won't be just grass. And the road will just lead up to this, which will be the first of the round type sections. So this comes down, and trying to keep it always 3 wide, I'm using my Tinker's Construct excavator to bust up a unit of 3, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, and that keeps everything nice and wide. And then of course when I turn to go to a straight area, I'm just using that excavator to cut a path 3 wide. As I do that, I'm trying to follow the terrain as best I can. So whenever there's a step down in the terrain where I'm not completely surrounded by dirt blocks or grass blocks on both sides, then I step down and I cut back the turf on the side to leave 1 meter next to the road. So here you can see I was coming along, and on this side the hill is clearly going down, and I didn't have 1 meter of dirt on both sides. I'd only had it on this side. So I stepped the road down and then carved this particular chunk out. Same thing happened after 2 meters. The hill came down on this side, so I brought the road down and carved out on that side. And again, all the way down. Oh, that horse does wander. All right, so that gave me this nice road that brings me all the way back to the bridge. And then on the other side here, I've only got a little nub of a road that needs to get filled out and brought around. Now, if we look at the map, the areas of interest nearby, there's one of my friends has his house here. Another of my has his house over here. We also have a village over here, and there's another village over here. There's a big mountain over here, which could be interesting to go get ice and snow or to put in an iron mine. There's already an iron mine in the hills over here, so that's another area that I might want to bring a road to. Here's a couple of other high areas that might be good places to put future mines if I need more metal. And then down here, we have a desert biome with a lot of hardened clay, that mesa biome with those colors. So I might want to bring a road down here, and then finally one more village on the southern part of the island. And then down here is a dark oak forest, so maybe we want a road to come down to be able to get to that resource. But there's also a dark oak forest over here. There's a swamp over here that we might want to get to. And then one of the other people on the server has their house right here. So I've got a bunch of places that I might want to bring roads to. And as I look at where all of those things are, I'll have a lot better idea of exactly where I want to put the particular roads as I go along. So anyway, that's about all to report for now. We've got this nice canal going on, so now we can use our boats to get across from this little bay over to this little bay and cut off having to go around this big chunk of an island here as we're exploring in our boats. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to see what we do next, then hit subscribe, and I will talk to you later.